My friends, and welcome back to my channel for another process video. Today I'm going to be working in the How to Kill a Kit series that my friends created a couple years ago. If you're just wondering or just now joining and going, what is How to Kill a Kit? It is basically taking any kit or any collection or making your own kit and using it for the whole month in hopes to truly kill a kit or wipe it out, right? And where you have next to nothing going back into your stash. And I was always nervous about joining in this because I just didn't know how did they do it, but I overcame that fear. I wouldn't say fear, but definitely I was nervous of how do they do it? And now that I've kind of been doing it myself using pocket pages, I've kind of got myself into a little groove. So if you are wondering what my kit is, I do have a video on that, and I'll go ahead and link that up right now. But basically I'm using the My Mind's Eye My Girl collection from 2006. I figured this has been sitting in my stash for 9 years. It's time to use it all up. And so when I was going through the supplies that I have, I decided to use this triangle paper that I just recently used for my friend's layout who was doing a celebration of a hop for reaching 500 seppies. And I thought it was perfect because it's a scraps, it's kind of an odd angle, and it's already kind of setting up the layout for me. Now on the previous layout, if you were to compare them side by side, they're definitely going to look completely different, which is amazing, right? Because I took that same piece of paper, positioned it up at the top, and yet the layout's going to look completely different. And the reason why it's going to look different is I only decided to put the pattern paper on the top and leave blank white cardstock on the bottom, where on the previous layout I did both pattern papers. Now I kind of hem and hawed of what pattern paper I wanted to use. I don't know why, I kind of just, again, overthinking, I guess, but I finally decided on this one right here where I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the plaid, but I decided to go with the stars, and that is because this is a picture of my daughter on her birthday. It doesn't look like it's a birthday. We didn't do a birthday party. I've only had a couple of, believe it or not, my kids have only had where friends showed up or family, maybe 5 or 6 times. It usually is just us, which is okay. My kids have never felt like they had to have a party every single year, but we definitely make it special when it's not a actual big, huge birthday party with all their friends. So in this case, we bought her first bike. She did get a tricycle, like bike from my parents when she was 2 or 3, but this is her first two-wheel bike with training wheels, and it was a pretty special day, which I was so glad that I had these pictures, because if you watch the kit share that I did, I was like, this bicycle chipboard piece is humongous. What am I going to do with it? And then that's when I got done filming. I'm like, do I have a picture of her with her bikes? Like any bike page will do. And that's when I found this one with her birthday. All right, so in order to complete and finish that look, I wanted to top it off with some washi tape. I don't have a whole lot of washi tape. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of washi tape, but I'm using it a lot more on my layouts, which makes me happy because I'm using them all up. Now, with some of my washi tape, I guess it all just depends on who makes it. I noticed that some don't stick very long, and I've had some actually peel up. So I've just lesson learned. I always add extra adhesive, but I do that now with everything because you guys know my stories on adhesive. So once I get done doing that, I then place the bicycle down, because obviously I'm not going to have it up above the photos because then it will look like, I don't know, E.T. movie that they're flying in the sky. So I'm going to ground it by placing it on the bottom of that 12 by 12 layout. Now I have to say, oh my gosh, I don't know what adhesive My Mind's Eye was using for that chipboard piece, but I think every company needs to, because once I placed that bike, I wanted to lift it and kind of not have the wheel so close to the edge of that white cardstock. Yeah, I couldn't move it because it would have ripped everything. So I just left it and said, don't even fuss with it, Desiree. It is what it is, and it's not going anywhere. Next, I then am going to mat the photo. So I already have a white border going around my picture. And I do that in my Canon selfie. I always just on the settings, I always have it as a border. And all I did was take my scraps from my scrap bin. I always go there first, that's right. First, before I go into grabbing a 12 by 12 and cutting into a fresh brand new piece of 12 by 12. All right, so these were not in my collection. So this collection by My Mind's Eye, My Girl isn't really geared for birthdays, but I did have a hip kit. No, it was not a hip kit. It was Scraptastic kit. Yeah, that's how old this is. That was geared for birthdays. And so I bought both kits at the time because you could do add-ons. And I just found a die cut that I wanted to use. And then I found a phrase by Jilly Bean Soup that said birthday girl. And it was the perfect arrow because it was directed towards the right. And most arrows kind of go to the left. So I was really happy about that. So I'm going to use that one for sure. Thought about adding some labels, and those labels are from Studio Calico. They're just from their digital store. And then I'm going to definitely use those balloons. Now, if you're wondering, Desiree, you just introduced a new color to the layout, which is that navy blue. Guys, I'm a rule breaker. I don't care. I don't. I'm like, okay, so it's navy. There's no navy on the other anywhere on that page except actually on her bike and on her jeans. But that's okay. I am basically not going to focus on it. If I have it in just that one little part, and again, it is present in the photos, I'm okay with that. I am also going to put a number 5 on there, so most of it is going to be covered up. It's not something that's going to stand out and really just shout out like, look, I'm not supposed to be here really. So I'm okay with that. Now I did want to create a little layer. You saw me grab some labels. I was trying to make it work. Why? Because I absolutely love layering. I watch my friend Ronnie Sue all the time, and she is a layering queen. I am like, can she add any more? No, she can't. I know she can't. And what does she do? She adds more. I'm like, Ronnie, you need to come over to my house. You need to help me. I'm not kidding, because I couldn't figure out what to do. So I said, you know, I'm tired of overthinking it. I'm tired of wasting time. I just want to get this layout done, because instead of worrying about something so little as adding layers to it. And so I just move on. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing it down. And I do this when I know some people don't like to design this way, but when I get tired of just placing it over and over again the same spot, I'm like, just do it. Just glue it down so that way it's not moving around and shifting with other products. Right, so I'm going to place the balloons in the center. I thought about having it off to all the way to the right. And I can't remember why I didn't like that. I think I just liked it kind of dividing the two pictures, kind of separating the two. That's all. But when I went to glue it down, I noticed there was a little bit of lift, and that is because the photos are overlapping. The photos are matted, so I definitely have quite a few layers going on. And because of that, I thought, you know what, it's time to add some foam adhesive. So I just grabbed my little foam dots or foam squares, whatever you want to call them, and that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and start doing that. And then also for the birthday girl arrow, I needed to lift that one up as well. It was just a little, it looked funny kind of being pressed down. It kind of like dipped down a little bit to get to the star pattern paper. All right, so that's where I'm kind of pointing going, I want to put something on that blue. I thought about maybe the orange balloon, but I'm going to put it on the blue to have that number 5 to represent that it did turn 5. And, you know, for her birthday, like I said, she didn't have a birthday party, but later on that month, like I think it was maybe the following week, we did take her to Knott's Berry Farm. So that's usually what we do if we don't have a birthday party. We will take the kids to Disneyland. We've taken them to Knott's Berry Farm. And that usually is because in Southern California where I live, they do a SoCal deal for SoCal residents at Disneyland. So that usually is perfect timing because it's in the month of April. All right, so then I had this My Girl sticker that I wanted to use up. And I did that instead of, I was going to do like My Girl, you know, the big turned 5 or something like that. But instead, I already put the number 5 on the balloon that represents how old she is. So I ended up just keeping the title My Girl because she's my girl. Even though she's not, you know how like some moms are like, oh, mini me? She's definitely not a mini me. She is rugged and sporty, and but yet then likes her bleh, pedicures at the same time. So she is though, but she's definitely my girl, and just like my boy's my boy. All right, so now I'm going to add some phrase stickers, and just again to have more pops of that yellow, and I think I call this layout done. I come back to it because I looked over my sheet, and again, that's in my other video, but I have this little video of like other things that I could add to the layout. And I found these brads that happen to be with the same collection. I took off a couple, tried to sprinkle them around, and I just felt like I was forcing it. And anytime I feel that I'm forcing something, I scratch it and call it, and just say forget about it and just move on. All right, everybody, that is my layout. So thank you so much for joining me. I will leave a link below to all of the other friends of mine that are playing along. So definitely check their videos out as well. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I would love to have you here. I do hope you consider subscribing because I love any time that you guys spend time with me and comment. I don't even care if it's just to say, hey, Desiree. I love talking to you guys, and I mostly talk through Instagram or YouTube. Facebook's kind of hard for me because it is just so many spots of social media. Anyways, everybody, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.